Hey, Derek, Vinny with the Review Journal. Obviously, we see you with all your new offensive weapons, and that's looking pretty good. But you're also playing against what looks to be a better defense, a more aggressive, faster, athletic defense. From your perspective, are you seeing that?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. It's more competitive. They're the rush is great. The linebackers are very athletic, can fly around, smart also. Um, the DBs, the young DBs, a lot of guys, that not a lot of people have heard of, but really good players. I'm really excited about, our corners. The coverage is stickier, and they're doing some good things. So, very excited. I think just to describe them as a whole, I think they're just more athletic. They're faster. They fly around. It's very, very, very cool to see. I can't hear them. I'm sorry. I can't hear them, guys.
Hey, Hondo, can you repeat that again? Speak up, please.
Yes, sir. I said, Derek, this is Hondo Carpenter from Sports Illustrated. There's very few things leading an organization that you can't pick up a phone and call somebody who's been there. But leading through a pandemic is something nobody's done. How much did you rely on your faith?
I'm so sorry. We just can't hear you. Okay, if he wants to text one of y'all, I'll answer it. Yeah.
Hey Derek, how strange and different does this camp feel? And can you take me through your average day, like what time you get here? Do you got to do your testing? How does it affect your daily schedule?
Yeah, it's definitely different. As you know, those of you that have been in Napa, I mean, we stay literally right where we practice and eat and meet and everything. My meeting room was 3 doors down from my bedroom. So everything is different. Nothing is normal about this. We come in the morning, and before you come in the door, you have to do a COVID test, and it's nuts because everyone in the building has to do it. So you may get here at 5:15, but you got to wait 20 minutes before you get your test. It's just different, man. But everyone's having to do it. Everyone's got to grind through it, and someone's going to come out on top because they dominated it. So we come in, everyone's wearing masks. Everyone's in our lunchroom, there's spacers so no one can talk to spit on each other. There's spacers, clear spacers on all the lockers. When we go in the weight room, you get done using something, you got to wipe it off, disinfect it, hand sanitizer. It's to say the least, it's strange, Vic. But we are going to do everything we can to make sure, like we've taken a family approach. We're trying to take care of each other and take care of each other's families. If someone has it, someone's in the building, we're at least taking every precaution, every step, every measure to where when you come in here, you at least know your brothers are going to take care of you, And so while it's weird, while it's completely out of the normal, we're all going to do it to make sure, because really, I mean, the CDC guidelines, all this stuff changes once a week anyway. No one really knows what's going on, so we're just trying to do our best to take care of one another.
Derek, it's Ed Graney from the Review Journal. You talked about before camp the young guys and how much you like them, and I know it's a small sample size, but now and especially the young receivers, they've looked like they've transitioned very well. What have you seen in pads from them? And I know it's a small sample.
Oh yeah, they're one thing that I can say about these last couple classes, since Coach Gruden has got here, and with Mr. Mayock, is these guys love football. So in pads, not in pads, they look the same, And usually when we put pads on, there's a big discrepancy. There's a big difference in some of these young guys where you're like, oh, he's not going to make the team. He's not going to play long, and sometimes they end up not playing long. And with these guys, you're like, oh, these guys are football players. So very excited about them. But I mean, we can be excited about them and have the hype and all that, but it doesn't matter, man. We gotta put the work in every day. We gotta go do it on the football field on game day. So we are excited, but I'm gonna downplay that one a little bit. No predictions, no nothing. We'll just let their play do the talking. I think that there's a long way to go for them. I think that they have some details they need to iron out that we were ironing out today. But great communication leads to great execution. So hopefully we can continue to get on the same page and more good things will happen.
Hey, Derek, it's Paul. How easy or how hard, how would you describe the adjustment you have to make to dealing with the speed that Henry Ruggs presents when he's running a go route? You have to hit him in stride.
Yeah. It's unbelievable how fast he can run. Darren Waller had a better quote than I can give you, so he's fast. And so he reminds me of two guys I played with in college, Jalen Saunders and Devin Wiley, both 4.2 guys. And when you threw to them, you could lead them a little bit and not worry about overthrowing them or missing the ball. There's sometimes that you see sometimes in games all across the NFL where some deep balls were a little underthrown, or because maybe that guy's not a 4.3 guy where you can just trust to let that thing out there and let the guy go get it no matter where it's at. You see that all the time because you're trying to be so perfect. With these guys, with him, with Waller, with Zay, with Hunter Renfrow, those really, really fast guys, as Hunter walks by, you have to you can literally just let the ball out there and they'll go get it and make you right. And so I think the NFL, a lot of guys are fast, Paul. A lot of those guys can run, but where they make their difference is when that ball's in the air, they can separate even more. I think that's where I see it the most. Everyone can, run kind of stride for stride a little bit, but when that ball's in the air, you see just another kind of gear, for him to go get it.
Hey, Derek, John Becker from the Bay Area News Group. Now, when you guys go to Carolina for your opener, Panthers going to have fans in the stands. When you go to Kansas City, there's going to be fans there. You guys have this big, beautiful stadium. Unfortunately, it's going to be empty. How much do you think that affects your home field advantage?
I don't know. We don't know. We've never done it. John. Like we're all seeing stuff that no one's seen before. Not only in football, but with people's jobs. People's small businesses being shut down, especially in California, everything's shut down. No one can do anything, and really my heart is for them right now. John, I'm being honest. If there's any message we can get out of this, I hope that that those people, those small business owners, are all right, and those people with those middle class jobs and things can get back to work and things. So that's where my heart's at. With the fans, I know that there'll be noise. I think most of these stadiums pump it in anyway, and they don't tell you about it. So all of a sudden it's loud, and you look around and you can't hear anything, yet no one's screaming in the stands. So it's pretty interesting. So we'll see. I mean, for us, we've taken the mindset, John, that we're all we got right now. We don't get the fans, we don't get that, so we got to bring our own energy and our own juice. So we'll see how it goes.
Hey, Derek, Dave from Fresno B. What is your vision for this Raider offense in 2020, and how do you feel you guys have grown and improved from last season?
Oh yeah, my vision is that we'll just score more points. We've many times been able to move the ball well, especially last year. Among the tops of efficiency on how we could move the ball and things like that with as few possessions that we did have. So we need to make sure that when we get the ball in our hands, we capitalize in the red zone. I think we talked about it the first time I talked, that if we don't finish in the red zone, everyone's going to be hanging their head and bummed out again. So we have to finish our drives. I think my vision for us is that we would be a top offense in the red zone, and usually the top offenses in the red zone and taking care of the football are the teams that are in the playoffs and making runs.
Hi, Derek. It's Chris Matthews, CBS here in town. You talked about how complicated John's offense is, still going through it, still learning, as a matter of fact, you're saying. You almost kind of sympathize a little bit with Marcus. He's had to go through this and try to learn that complicated offense during these tough times during a pandemic.
Yeah, absolutely. He's doing a great job, I'll say that. Let me say that first. He's doing a fantastic job. Marcus is a great guy, and he's a smart football player, and he's doing a great job. But any chance I get, I try and, during a meeting, if he asks a question and, maybe that's not the answer he's looking for, I'll text him and try and help him. I'm texting him during a meeting, trying to give him, usually I can lean over and talk to him. Here I am texting him during a meeting, which isn't always the right thing, but it's what we got to do now, Chris. So I've just been trying to help him as much as I can, because I know if I was in that position, you need help, man. You need guys that will wrap you around the arm. We're family here. We're teammates. We are both here as well as Nate Peterman to lead our team and to help us win. You know, if you ever watch us at practice, if I'm in the thing, Marcus is talking to a receiver, Nate's talking to a receiver. When Marcus is in, me and Nate are talking to guys, coaching up, fixing things. When Nate's in, me and Marcus are talking to guys, trying to fix things. We're in this thing together, man. And so all three of us have just kind of, you know, in a group text, just try and help each other out and always just trying to, you know, help that process. It's going to be hard for him, you know, especially with no preseason games where he'd actually get some live reps. So, but besides that, knock on wood, you know, hopefully I stay healthy and he won't have to worry about that.
Eric, you talked about the.
Oh, he got muted right when he was talking.
You spoke about the speed of Henry Ruggs and Zay Jones. Conversely, you have a whole other element from a Brian Edwards. You talked about him a couple weeks ago, his physicality. Is that still showing up, would you say, with the pads and everything? And what kind of element will he bring in that regard?
Yeah, you know, I've always been a guy, you know, in my life, high school, college, in the pros, when I had Andre Holmes, when I had Crab, you know, Coop. I love throwing the ball up and giving those guys chances. You know, I feel like if a guy's running side by side with someone, I can put it in a place where only they can get their hands on it. And that's where that was our goal line offense at Fresno State was, Devontae, just run a fade and I'll just place the ball and you go get it. And that's kind of how Brian is, you know. You know, he's the guy that, you know, wherever I put the ball, I have confidence in how strong his hands are, that he can separate, make an extended catch while guys are holding on to him, grabbing onto him, and everyone can high five and be excited about it, you know, instead of just a long foul ball. So he's an exciting guy, man. You know, he's got some details to iron out. You know, there was a ball I went to give him a chance today. It was a matchup thing. I could have went there or here. I gave Brian a chance, and something happened where we'll watch the film and talk about it. But you know, the next play he comes back, I get mad at him and all these kind of things. Next play we come back, I give him another chance, and he strong arms the ball, throws the corner off of him, and it would have been a 40, 50-yard play, you know, just because he's that strong, you know. And with other guys, usually it's catch tackle, whereas he catches it and can throw people and make plays that way. So he's not a 4-2 guy, but don't let it just the violence of his routes and how strong he plays fool you. The man can run also. So it gives us a dynamic where I can, again, you know, I love dropping back. If you watch, anytime I've had a tall guy or those kind of guys, I love just throwing it up and giving them one-on-one chances, and he's that kind of guy.
Last two guys.
Hey Derek, Case from Las Vegas Sun. I know you've talked repeatedly about, you know, having all these new weapons, how much you're enjoying that, but it seems like they all have different specialties or different things they do well. Is this one of the more, complementary, well-rounded receiver groups you've ever worked with?
Yes, absolutely. You know, I've been around some good groups in my time. We've had some fun years. I've been around some times where everyone gets hurt, and we're just trying to figure it out. Whereas here, we have a great group of guys where if someone does get hurt, it's like you feel for your brother, and it's like, dang, you don't want to lose anybody, but hey, we have this element now. Hey, we have this guy that can do this. This guy can run these routes. This guy can take the top off. This guy can run these kind of routes, and just I guess the opportunities are limitless. I think that's what Coach Gruden wanted. He wanted just a whole bunch of different guys, versatile guys that he can call this or he can call it. He wants, in Coach Gruden's playbook, he wants to go into a game with this many plays where some guys go in there with this. He wants this many things because if you're stopping that, he's going to go here. If you're stopping that, he's going to go here. He's not going to let you just stop thing and then just give up and the game's over. He's going to make sure that he's going to stress you out with every ability that we have. And in that room, there's just so many things. You think about it. We put Brian or Tyrell or Henry or Zay or all those guys. Nelly. You put whoever you want outside, and you put Darren Waller. You got Jason Witten, our tight ends, Foster, Derek, and then you put Renfro in there. Who's going to cover Renfro? Who's going to cover our backs? I think that was Coach Gruden's goal and his vision, his dream when he got here was, hey, it may take some time, and we talked about it. He said it's going to take some time, but we're going to get to a place where we can do whatever we want as an offense. We can run the triple option if we want. So I think we're going to do that in Carolina.
Last one.
Hey, Derek, Scott Branson with Raider Nation, Radio 920. Listen, you just talked about some of the guys that they've built around you now, this roster, defense as well. But talk about continuity, especially coming off this strange offseason, for you to have the kind of continuity you had now with Mike Mayock and John Gruden. How does that mean for you for your mindset going in and preparing for this season?
Oh man, it's been great. I think I'll say this: my relationship with Mr. Davis, Mr. Mayock, and Coach Gruden, it shows me how an organization, like a professional organization, should be run. You know, those guys are first class, Scott. Those guys, all of us are on the same page at all times. Like there was a time where we had a dinner and we're all sitting there hanging out, and all of a sudden it's just a couple coaches, myself, Grew, and Mr. Davis, and we're sitting there talking about stuff and figuring stuff out for the team, and we're all on the same page. We all talk on the same level, and whenever that's the case, there's no he thinks this, we're going to go this way, and this and that. If we're all pushing in the same direction, that's your best chance to win. You know, it doesn't guarantee it, but it gives you your best chance. And everything that Mr. Davis, everything that Mr. Mayock, Coach Gruden have told me, every single word that they have told me, not to you guys, but to me in person, has come true to a T. And that's unbelievable. Other quarterbacks I talk to, sometimes around the league, they don't even know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And then it shows, you know. And one thing that I'm thankful for as a quarterback, as a player, you're always told the truth. You always know where you stand. When I say, Mr. Mayock, what do you see? How can I get better? Coach Gruden, how can I get better? They give you things, and when you work on those things, they remember 8 months ago that conversation. They say, hey, you worked on that. Look at this play. You did this and this. And they're on it all the time. They're football guys, just like I am. And so one thing about them that I think main thing is that everything they say comes to fruition, man. They are exactly who they say they are.
Thanks, everyone.